Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's TV Reality Cast, where we are covering Love Island UK Season 7, Episode 33, Chris. Now, Chris, we weren't the biggest fan of the episode yesterday, but kind of hotted up a little bit, and, you know, we got some of the intrigue, Chris, the snaky intrigue with, we've got another triangle, haven't we, with Mary, Dale and Abby. So what do you reckon to how that opened?
Yeah, well, what I would say, Dave, is this come from nowhere. This whole thing come from nowhere. Mary was just like, I mean, she didn't crown herself in glory in the last episode, let alone this one. But I've not seen this Dale and her connection. I don't know, fucking fictitious, isn't it? We've got a coupling of people being voted off, and suddenly they're this big relationship, and we've got tears. Even Dale's pushing for it, and I'm like, but yeah, there's obviously been something with the producers haven't shown us, because I've not seen this connection at all. This again is desperado stuff, and poor Abby. I've called her out a little bit, but she seems like such a lovely person, doesn't she, Dave? She's like, I'll step aside, it's fine. She was dead upset. I didn't get it. And Mary, for me, is just a bit of a slapped arse, if I'm being honest, Dave.
Yeah, she's... I think there is something on the editing room floor, isn't there? You know, so... Because Dale seemed quite set on Mary. And yet what we'd seen the previous day, obviously Chloe had friend-zoned him. And then he was looking to crack on with Abby and Mary. And then, you know, seemed to like them both. But it was a bit of a I'm going to figure it out sort of situation. And that's suddenly become, oh yeah, I was all about Mary. It's almost like, makes me think of Australia Season 1, Chris, when that girl split up a couple deliberately, you know, when she picked Grant Crap. Do you remember?
Yes.
It reminded me of that, but with none of the build-up. It's like Abby's intentionally split up this couple, and Mary's saying like, oh well, it just means I don't get to sleep in the same bed with you for a few days. And it's like, but that implies there was something there before. And you know, they don't hang about, do they? And I guess fair play, there's not much time there. But again, you know, we've called out people in the past. It did seem a little bit snaky to me. Dale was coupled up with Abby. He was giving her the green light before, but then he's snogging Mary upstairs. And then to make it worse, Abby walks right in on it.
Yeah, I agree. It happens later on as well, Dave, as well. So it's weird that this would play out like that. And why do we even care about these people as well? Because
we don't, do we?
No, I don't mean that against you. I just mean
no.
There's no skin in there's no skin in it for me. I'm in the race because I'm just like, this is bollocks, like absolute bollocks. And then obviously Abby now his friend zone him. It's weird, isn't it? Because they've got a connection. They've still got to stay in the beds. They've still got to share the beds, even though Dale and that want to be together.
They could take the day beds, couldn't they?
Yes. Yeah, they could. They could do that, to be fair, Dave. But yeah, I think, look, we've got a voting off, and I know we'll get to that at the end, but I think that them two could be potentially going anyway. There's a couple of these relationships tonight that might not even be relationships that are about to flourish because the people they're trying to get with may be off the island.
Well, the thing is, it does have me wondering. You know, in previous seasons, you've always had people coming in from Casa Amor and then they integrate with the main group. You know, it's like the Slough branch integrating with Swindon lot. And eventually they do integrate, whereas it seems, you know, still very much us and them, isn't it? With the, you know, the pre-Casa Amor lot and the Casa Amor lot.
Yeah. There's a big divide, isn't there? There is a big divide. And I don't know, Dave. I'm going to say something now which could be completely wrong, but it almost feels that we've got the slight, like we had on The Bachelor, Dave, the last season. on that season where we had the mean girls. It almost feels like the OG girls. I'm not saying they're being mean, so please don't take it out of context, but there is this divide. I mean, we had Millie, Lucinda, and who come in, Dave? The three of them. Millie, Lucinda, there was three of them, weren't there? And they were all together. Oh, and Chloe, they were together, weren't they? And then
yeah, so Chloe came in pretty much on the first day. So really, she's an OG, but a lot of the time she's not treated like that. But then you had Lucinda and Millie came in together, and then Chloe kind of coupled up with them. So I don't think it's a Mean Girls situation. I think it's just different cliques, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And I wasn't saying they were being mean. I just meant as an example, it was like there is a divide. And it's strange. Even the guys, I think the guys have slightly got that as well. There's a slight divide as well with some of the Casa Amor people and that. So it's strange. But I mean, I will say, Dave, I thought this episode, it's going to be another fucking load of crap. And we see Faye and Teddy, Chloe and Toby. I'm still questioning Chloe. How can she be so forgiving? It's like she's gone, well, he's gone and tried these other girls, but he knows that he's got prime steak here. He's not got a fucking 99p burger from fucking McDonald's. He's got a proper steak here. And I'm like, why would you be proud of that? And look, they're giggling, they look good together. What I have a bit of a problem with, Dave, though. He's like, you look at Chloe and Toby. Toby, the guys are just terrible the way they've treated the girls. Liam and Millie, terrible example to young people, men and women, that how a relationship shouldn't be. I know it's for TV, but the girls are accepting it and accepting their ridiculous, horrible behavior. I'm not saying they should, and I think it's wrong. The guys are in the wrong, not the girls. But the fact that Millie's still a little bit forey with Liam. I get that. She is. But Chloe's just gone all in. I mean, he does this fucking picnic, and I remember after he threw her on the floor, he literally lobbed her on the floor. I thought, she's hurt her hip here. But yeah, I don't know about you, but for me, it just doesn't sit right, all this, the way Chloe's been so forgiving.
No, like you say, it's almost as if she's had the Men in Black, laser thing. She's had her memory pretty much wiped, and she's just over it. And you keep seeing, like with Millie, she's making Liam work a bit. I like the line when they were playing the kissing game after, and Liam said something about, everyone else was cheating. Millie was like, taking after you then. I was like, oh, that's a good jab to the ribs, that is. Whereas Chloe, she's just all in, isn't she? And I don't get it. And like you say, I do think, and look, it's Love Island, isn't it? It's such trash TV. But I do think it just sets a terrible example to younger people watching this.
I think it does. And I will say, Dave, I'm going to call Millie out slightly. How she was, and she wasn't the only one, so I'm not just saying, but Millie's going through this situation with Liam because he's kissed a girl. Chloe's getting back with someone who's kissed two other girls since they've been together and binned them off, basically, and she's called him out. Millie was there cheerleading from the balcony, Dave. Toby. And I'm like, well, I'm not really sure about this, Millie. I think
it's fucking hypocritical, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just like, I think you might have got this wrong here. You're cheering on a cheater who you're also giving Liam hard time for cheating. And that isn't to put the blame with Millie, because it's not, because Liam's an absolute cock for what he did and he deserves all the shit he's getting. But I was just like, you're not seeing this? No, is Toby now the new fucking shining light? I think he's hilarious, Toby, now, there. It's just ridiculous. But it's just a fucking joke with him. But I think with Chloe, she's always had the power. And then he's walked in her life, I think. She's always had, she's a good-looking girl. She's obviously pretty much got her own way. And Toby's basically done to her what she's probably done to a lot of people. I am guessing on that. I'm presuming that. And Toby's got her, Dave. He's just like, and while it's good, it's really good. But I think she's hoping that she can tame him from turning. And I think that's what the challenge is. And also, I know we'll talk about Kaz, but the same with Kaz. A lot of guys are like, why can't a girl pick a good guy? I'm a good person. I'm not a finger. Chloe, Kaz, and, well, not really them two. Chloe and Kaz, really, they like a guy with a bit of an edge. And they don't like someone who's just too, not normal, but, just like, he's going to treat him with respect, because this the Tyler situation again, and we'll get onto that. Do you understand what I mean? Does that make sense? It's sort of like they want a bit of edge, they want a bit of excitement, and they've not got it. And now that Chloe's trying to tame Toby, and it's all wonderful, she's hoping he doesn't think it, but that's her challenge to keep him from turning his head. And obviously now we've got the situation with Kaz where she's after this Tyler guy, who Tyler's absolutely horrendous, Dave, but I just don't get it.
They want a bad boy, but they want them to be good.
Yeah. and you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that, are you?
No. So, it's just ridiculous. I mean, with Chloe and Toby, I mean, she did say he's got a massive schlong. So, it could be as simple as that.
Hey, by the way, go on.
Yeah, let's tangent, shall we? So, Chris, a few months ago now, we were obviously covering the circle, and we talked about it openly, about your application to be in the circle, and unfortunately, Channel 4 dropped it, so doesn't look like that season's going to happen. But obviously, you put your application in, and you had some news yesterday, didn't you, Chris?
You wanker, right? So I'm sat there shopping at the Trafford Centre, which is local to my house, and we're in Primarni, Dave, because I was getting a little bit at the back end of the summer stuff that was on offer, and I thought, right, I'm going to get some shorts, and my back was hurting at that point because we'd done a little bit of shopping, and Sam does love a good walk, Dave, so we're gone for it. So I sit down with Jordan, she's next to me. I check my phone. Oh, hang on, who's this? Yeah, Dave, I've been offered, if obviously I'm single and I want to do this, would I like to go on Naked Attraction, Dave? Now, Naked Attraction, for anybody outside the UK, I don't have it in the US, it's basically where you go on a show and the first thing that the person sees of you, for me, would be my cock, Dave. Now, obviously, it would probably be rather cold. I'd probably have to wear a prosthetic.
I think they see the knees. There's like a screen, isn't there? And you can see probably the knees. And then at different stages, they lift it up gradually.
Yes.
And then they get to pick, don't they? They get to be like, oh, well, I don't really like that cock. So on your way, sunshine. So... and then the big screen reveals the person, and then they have a bit of a chat, don't they? They're like, start bollock naked there, talking away about whatever, and then they get voted off. Brilliant, Chris.
But the words "Big Chris" would not be needed, Dave. I think that'd be false advertising if I did end up on there. So obviously I haven't pursued my application on that. But I was reading going, is this a fucking wind up? Is this like a spam thing? Or someone registered me taking the piss, and then it said you have already registered a circle, but we're not currently casting. And I'm like, all right,
you forgot to tick that one box.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I find it hilarious, but what I don't quite get is, I mean, that is a leap, isn't it? Because the circle, I mean, you don't see anything of anyone. You've got like old people catfishing as young people doing the opposite. To go from that to Naked Attraction, there's got to be a small intersection in that Venn diagram. It's just...
Yeah. There is a small intersection, Dave. Right, move on anyway. Move on, Dave.
I do wonder, though. Genuinely, I look at this thing, and I have seen a few episodes, and I think, how do you fucking turn up to work on Monday?
I know. I don't know. And you know how it goes with lads and stuff, Dave. They just rip you.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you couldn't even get out of that. So no, I don't know. I always watch that one, that woman, she's about 60. She went, I'm a church goer, I'm a real religious lady, and I'm singing the choir and everything. The next minute she's going, but I love a big girth. And I'm like, what? she's dressed like a fucking librarian, and she's fucking there. Oh yeah, I think that'd do me. And I'm like, what the hell are we watching here?
Can you imagine, right? You fucking go on there, you think, you know what? This is my shot at reality TV. I'm going to take it, and you get in there. and there's next to you is like fucking Sex Life episode 3.
Oh my God, Dave. Fucking hell. Well, you know what? I said to you, didn't I? I've told this story when I got offered the Housewives of Cheshire, and they were like, "Can you come on as a male life model?" And Sam was laughing, going, "Oh, you want to go on?" I went, "Fuck that." And the guy they replaced me was a really good-looking lad who was the other one, and the guy replaced me was about 70. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And he's there, old fucking Percy there with his fucking schlong out, just fucking laughing his cock off with his saggy arse. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so glad I didn't go on this. It wasn't a flattering angle, Dave, at all."
I think you should apply, actually. I think, Chris, actually, here we go. Here's what we should do. We should open a new tier on our Patreon, and this is people to sponsor you to go on Naked Attraction.
Fuck off, Dave. Even Sam would fucking sponsor me. So you'd be laughing, but oh, you're going to get voted off straight away.
Hey, I'd get my fucking hand in my pocket.
Fucking hell, I better get it done then. Right, can we get back to Love Island?
Yeah, sorry.
Talk about my fucking member, Dave.
Honestly, I'm going to dine out on this one for a bit. But anyway, you mentioned Tyler there, right?
Yes.
Fucking hell, Chris. Tyler and Kaz, both of them, couple of dicks, behaving like dicks, fucking immature. And, I just feel bad for Clarice and Matthew, quite honestly, that they're caught up in these little games of theirs. I think it's massively, I'm going to say it, childish. And yeah, I couldn't believe what I was watching at some points tonight.
No, and you know what with Kaz? The thing is with Kaz is that because she's the woman scorned, unfortunately, Matthew's bearing the brunt of her frustrations with Toby, with Tyler. Tyler is unbelievable. We laugh about Toby's lack of self-awareness, and is it an act? I don't know, but Toby seems to do it with a weird sort of way that you don't completely hate him, and obviously we've seen him come full circle, but Tyler's fucking delusional. He obviously thinks he is fucking Bertie Big Bollocks. He's been horrible to Clarice. He's been horrible to Kaz. Every time he opens his mouth to justify why he's keeping them both dangling on the string, he can't answer it, and it gets worse and worse for me. It's just verbal diarrhea. He is horrendous. But I do think with Kaz, Matthew, and I saw a lot of comments tonight about Matthew, and said to her he wasn't after a big commitment, and that's fine. Kaz is right to sort of question that and say, look, and she's very good at articulating herself. When she's in these situations, she's very good at getting a point across and putting them straight. She put Tyler straight. She put Toby straight, certainly. Fully support that, Dave. They were totally justified. However, I did find her quite patronising and condescending, because when he said, I want 100%, or I'll try and give you 100%, well, at that point for me, I'm out. I'm like, well, she's already talking with Tyler. She's flirty with him. Why does she want to go back with Tyler, Dave? She keeps saying it. He is horrendous. He'll drop her like a stone. This Matthew, I don't think is compatible with her at all. But I just think you can't moan and moan about the way you've been treated. And I do think she's just got a thick skin now, where she's just like, I'm not putting up with this bullshit. These lads are horrendous. I'm not doing it, and I totally support that, but I just think she's done it in the wrong way tonight, Dave. And I think Matthew was right to walk off, because it would have kicked off, and it's sort of, I saw loads of people divided. Loads of people were supporting Kaz, and I understand why, because of what's happened to her. I totally get it, because a lot of the lads are dickheads in there, and she's like, fuck this, I'm not putting up with it. But she didn't do it. And then you've got the other side who is saying she's a hypocrite, and we've got an email on that about that. So what's your view on that, Dave? Because I just thought she just handled it terribly tonight.
I do, but I've touched on this a few times this season. A lot of it is about perception. If you get a salesman and does he turn up on a bike? No, he turns up in a new car, Chris. It's perception, right? Because
nobody's going to get that reference. No. I get it.
I think Ed will get that, but probably no one else. So
to me, go on. I'm doing the
I do think you're right. Kaz is the woman scorned, and she's come straight in there. She's outgoing, bubbly, fun. So she's got a lot of fans. And so I think you can look at this and kind of excuse that behavior, because you're sort of making excuses for it. And it's like, look, well, she really likes Tyler, and there's nothing there with Matthew anyway. I don't see it that way. I think ultimately she's shit on Matthew a bit, and she was trying to like twist his words. She was saying about, oh well, you said, well, it's, what did she say? It was early days, or we're not that deep already. I don't know what she expects after a few days, but for me, it's different. You can still give 100% to someone, but it's still early days, and you don't have that deeper connection yet. Of course you don't. It's been a few fucking days. But she was trying to make out that like Matthew wasn't that into her. So she's excusing what she's doing. I mean, she's up after that fucking kissing game. She's literally up on the breakfast table, like showing her ass and getting Millie to check, like, can you see from his perspective, is that a good shot? So I think it's a maturity thing. I think she can't help the way she feels. She does still have that connection with Tyler, even though she knows he's a total douchebag. At some point, he's going to fuck her over again if he gets the chance, and then she'll cry about why men are all the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And we'll see how this plays, because what I was getting at the start is these relationships are going to fucking be literally dead in the water, Dave, because I've got to give Clarice full credit. She fucking tore him a new one. And she said, why did you bring me back? I could have been home by now. And then fucking dickhead Tyler's going, well, these other guys, I don't want other guys. And she took her shoes off.
I
came in with you. Yeah.
Brilliant.
A lot of credit for me, Dave.
Speech.
A lot of credit. And I actually put Clarissa the Queen there, Dave. I thought she gained my respect by doing that. And I wasn't happy with how the OG girls were looking over and that.
Yeah.
It just really pissed me off, because I was like, you'd go running to anyone else, but because it's Kaz, who's part of your little clique, you're now going, oh, let her go off and cry. It's fine. Whereas it's like, well, you can't do that. Every time someone's fucking nail cracks or an eyelash fucking falls out, everyone's round him like it's the worst tragedy ever.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, and it's hypocritical of him, for me, in my opinion. So, I just felt I was a bit off, to be fair. I thought that was naughty, that.
Yeah, and ultimately, Kaz and Tyler had this conversation, that they were going to try things out. Tyler was going to go and have a word with Clarice. He says he's made his mind up. He's going to shut that down. And then Kaz goes off and discusses that with the girls, while Tyler is discussing with Clarice. Well, again, I think there's a respect thing there. You've got to respect, surely, the person you coupled up with. And yesterday you were giving him a hard time because he wasn't giving you cuddles. You know what I mean? So I think it was a mistake to go over to the girls first. And then, like you say, it was like the meerkats, wasn't it? All the OG girls were just like, oh, what's happened?
Yeah.
No one fucking just go across and say, are you okay? It doesn't seem that hard. So, yeah, I think that was one of the examples tonight, wasn't it? Where there's a definite divide and there's an us and them kind of mentality. Yeah. And I think Clarice has shown herself to be, quite upset by this whole thing a few times. And yeah, I think I'm going to say even more than Matthew, to be honest, has been fucked around by this. Because Matthew didn't seem to know that much about it, did he? Until right at the end there.
No, he didn't, and he hasn't. And to be fair, Dave, he hasn't offered a lot to Kaz, so I can see it, but there's ways of doing it. And also, you're right. The situation she went to the girls, right, and she's like, "Well, I went to the girls. I don't see the problem." That's fine, but she would be kicking off if Matthew had gone to the guys and she found out secondhand that he's about to dump her and go with another girl. There'd be 100%. Fucking hell to pay. There'd be hell to pay, my friend. And you know that, and I know that.
Yeah. Now, Chris, I know we normally do all the emails and everything after, but I do have a voicemail. And this came through as the episode was going. Right? And I think you probably want to get this one right now. So you need to let me. Oh, no, it's me, isn't it? So I think I can share. Hold on.
Oh, Dave, I'm gonna love listening to this one, Dave. So yeah, you play it whenever you want. I'm just sat here, I'm just relaxing. I'm stretching. I'm just gonna get a sip of water.
Oh no, you know what, Chris? I've deleted it.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Right, are you ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
So this is from Joe, our good friend Joe.
Oh my God, I can't believe I was so wrong about Kaz and you two were so right. So I'm having to apologize. I bow down to you both. I bow down to the reality radar, Chris. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Dave. I
The
have watched
radar
this stuff.
has finally got it.
Finally, it's took 3 fucking weeks, but the radar is delivered, Dave. It's delivered. But Dave, I have got that's brilliant. Thank you, Joe. That was so good. When he sent me that tonight, I was pissing myself. I was like, oh, that took so much for Joe to send over. So thank you, Joe. But Dave, I have got #reality radar. I've got something on my radar.
Oh, go on then.
So, still on, and unfortunately, still on Kaz and Tyler. For me, I think that Kaz has been played. So, I think it's utter bullshit that tonight's episode, the Islanders have got to vote off. Kaz is going to want Tyler to stay. If she was still with Matthew and Tyler hadn't put this play in, Tyler's going. Whatever happens, because he's very unpopular. If it was down to the public vote, him and Clarice would have to go. Instead of it being a couple, they've now decided it's individual people. So I honestly think that Tyler's going to stay now. And I think the whole thing that he did in this last episode that we've just watched is all to do with him staying in the villa. And I don't believe he's after Kaz. Even though we're talking about this and their behaviour, I honestly believe that it was a play, because he knew that the only way he can stay in this villa is to stay with Kaz, because she's continually won the votes over and over again. And I might be wrong, but it just seemed to me that he switched all of a sudden again and went back the other way. A bit like what's happened with Toby and things like that. But honestly, Dave, that's what my reality radar prediction is for today.
Well, whether he's done it because he knows a vote is coming, I'm not sure I buy that. But he's absolutely playing her. And whatever the rationale is that you think it is that's going on in his head to play her, whether it's for the game, whether it's just because that's his modus operandi, whatever it is, he's playing a game and he's playing her. And the way it worked out, it's just, I think, well, let's get to the recouplings actually, because I do think Tyler will end up staying. But obviously yesterday we'd been voting for our favourite couples, and there weren't too many surprises in there. The likes of Liam and Millie, Jake and Liberty, all the regulars kind of got through. But the bottom 3 couples were Mary and Sam, Clarice and Tyler, and Amy and Hugo. What I did think was funny, Chris, but apparently there were lots of fans saying about how brutal the producers were. In fact, I've got something else on that in a minute. Because they sent Tyler the text message to say that Kaz and Matthew had been saved. And everyone was like, oh, that's so out of order. I'm like, brilliant. But out of the boys, Chris, so it'll be the thing, the Islanders have got to make the choice. They can save 1 couple and 2 couples will go home. So the boys, you've got Sam, Tyler and Hugo, and the girls, you've got Mary, Clarice and Amy. So boys first, who do you think is going to get saved?
I think Tyler.
100%.
I think Tyler's going to get saved. And I think I've got a feeling this whole thing we've read online about Hugo could be true. And that he's going. I do, and I do.
So, so to clear, so apparently, the producers are a bit fed up with Hugo. Well, producers, join the fucking club. Apparently, it took him like 5 takes, was it? That was the rumor, to get him with this kiss with Amy. And apparently that was, when he finally nailed it, that was the reason he said, like, job done, because he'd tried it 4 times before. So I don't know. Again, could I believe it? Does it change my opinion of Hugo? not really. You know, he pied off Amy again tonight, didn't he?
For fuck's
Another
sake.
one.
Yeah.
You know, so Hugo, your time in the villa is done. Kaz has a lot of influence over the OG girls, and she's going to want to save Tyler. So I think Tyler is an easy one for the boys. Now, for the girls, you've got Mary, Clarice, and Amy. What do you reckon to that?
I think that Mary's going to go. And I think this Dale bollocks will be ended because Abby and Dale will have to crack on. I think Mary's going to go. And yeah, I think Clarice may step up and say she wants to go. And just go.
So you're saying Amy will stay?
Amy will stay, yeah.
See, I think Amy's not really spent any time with the other guys that I've seen.
No.
I think the only person in a relationship in those three is Mary, and Dale is part of the deciding group.
Yeah, that's true.
So for me, I think Mary's the one who's going to get saved there.
You could be right, Dave. Well, that means that Hugo's still in there again, though, doesn't it?
No, because so one boy and one girl.
Yeah.
Hugo is not a girl.
Oh yeah,
right,
sorry, it's having a bit of a moment there. Having a moment
from the boys,
right.
Tyler from the boys, and Mary from the girls. That's my prediction.
Okay. I don't think Tyler. I think Kazzy's going to save him. Hence my reality radar prediction.
It's the person you have to save. They're not voting someone off, are they? They vote to save someone, and then the other two couples go.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Fucking hell. So I have no idea.
I just agree with you.
Oh, no.
Right. So
is it Friday? You've been on the Prosecco.
No, I haven't, unfortunately. I don't know what fucking day it is, right? So
right. People can save. We are going to get there, right?
I know.
So who are they going to save then?
So I'm thinking Amy. I give right. Okay, so I'm thinking Amy, and I think Tyler.
Okay. So we just differ on the girls then.
Sorry. I got that completely wrong before. Anyway, ignore that transmission, everyone.
So Hugo and Sam go from the boys. Definitely, that's our prediction, and it's either. It looks like Clarice is definitely going to go. Yeah, looks like she wants to go. So that's good. So then it's just the other two. Now, Chris, the thing I was going to say about people complaining, right? So apparently there were nearly 5,000 complaints, Chris, about Love Island, and the whole episode where they sent the postcard in.
Yes. I believe so, Dave.
Yeah, so 5,000 complaints to Ofcom about that. And I was feeling pretty bad because everyone's saying, oh, this is brutal. It's going, it's not being kind at all. This is horrible. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that led up to my favorite episodes. But
yeah. I'm with you on that's what Love Island's about, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I don't know. You can't water it down too much, or else you don't get the drama, do you? So, no. I mean, it was brutal, but that's why we watch this show.
Exactly. And Dave, and on the back of that, you're talking about complaints. We have got 2 hot emails coming in. One of them is from our good friend Gail, and she's put short and sweet. Hi guys. Well, I started to type out a whole email about how sorry I felt for Abby, but scrap that because I'm so bloody peed off with Kaz tonight. I've watched every season and episode of Love Island, and this email, by the way, from Gail came in before the show had even finished, Dave. So we not even got to the end. That's how annoyed she was. And I can honestly say I've never felt so annoyed with a girl in the show. Not a single person is calling her out on her behaviour. Bless Millie, I think she was torn trying to be a supportive friend when Kaz was doing all that posing on the kitchen counter. What the hell was that, by the way? But I think you can tell she was not that impressed. Anyway, Kaz, talk about completely self-obsessed. I keep hearing she's a wonderful, confident woman. No, she's a woman that can articulate well, but is still absolute hypocrite with double standards and an ability to speak confidently enough to think that whatever she says is totally correct. She calls out every man in there for treating women badly, but seems to think her actions and behaviours are above redemption. Please. I have had to cut tonight's episode short. I saw the preview of her and Tyler's chat and switched it off. I can't cope. Sure, I'll find out more from you two guys tomorrow. And if I miss some big drama from bailing out early, I won't be amused. Laugh out loud. Keep up the good work, both. Homeward stretch now. Love, Gail. So, Dave, brilliant reactive email. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And yeah, I think Tyler and Kaz, if people were to make a choice of their, who should be jettisoned out of the villa, I think a lot of people would, vote that way after, this episode. But look, tomorrow's another day, isn't it? Someone else would be in our sights.
Enemy, yeah.
So, look, you can't deny that Tyler and Kaz have a really great connection. And pre-Casa Amor, we had a few question marks, didn't we? The whole genuine comment, "Oh yeah, I'm really genuine, mate," and the fact that he made a beeline for Kaz seemed a bit off from Tyler's side, but Kaz was all in, and she definitely, there was a lot of chemistry there. So, I can't fault her for having those feelings, but I don't like just the hypocrisy. And actually, before we get on to the next email, I just want to read out another tweet from Terence, because again, he's concisely summed up the episode here. It says, Tyler had easily taken over the biggest villain from Toby. He's such a clown. Clarice is too stunning to be putting up with this mess. I repeat, Kaz is so immature. I liked Mary and Dale. Why the Islanders look puzzled at Abby. It's time for Hugo and Tyler to go. So there you go. And again, I think it's a brilliant point about Kaz and the immaturity. I think, she'll get a few more years on her and she may see that, it is a little bit hypocritical, that what she's done there. But anyway, Chris, we've got another email.
We have, Dave, and it's for our great friend Denise. What a mess. And she's gone, oh, and I'm doing Alan Partridge, Dave. Oh, it's a terrible impression. Tyler and Kaz aggravate my brain. I keep waiting to find some redeeming quality about him. He's not even charming. How can Kaz not see he's just a player and know she's popular and he's hoodwinking her? Oh, and poor Matthew. He's a pawn in their tit-for-tat game. The Twitter world seems to justify Kaz being muggy because she's been mugged off. But what has Matt done to deserve that? What really riles me is because Kaz is popular, knowing Tyler will slide into the finals on her popularity and God almighty, possibly win. As for Hugo, okay, I'm ready to throw in the towel. Sad to admit he's got to go. His all-inclusive holiday needs to end. Who would have expected I'd be celebrating Chloe and Toby, but will the rug be pulled from under us again? So that's from Denise. So brilliant email, Dave. And again, I think the sentiments towards Kaz tonight are really polarizing. But we'll say, by tomorrow's episode, she could be the hero again. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I think everyone is pretty much fed up with Hugo now, aren't they? Yeah. It's like, look, you can't look at the list of girls that he's pied off. These are good-looking, decent girls, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just not really feeling it. What the fuck, Hugo? He thinks he's the Hoff, doesn't he? He thinks he's like he's there in the middle of Baywatch and he's got his pick of all these lovelies. It's just. You go home. I've had enough now. Yeah,
me too. You're done, mate. Pack your bags and fuck off, Dave. That's the best way to say it to him. But anyway, Dave, if you want to contact us and you agree or disagree on this, get on social media, guys, at cdrealitycast, or email us cdrealitycast@gmail.com. Big thanks to all our friends over on Facebook. So get over there, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Join the channel. Join the group, and we'll accept you in and let's get the chat going. And also, as always, our Patreons, big thank you to them. Great chat on our Discord watch along party again tonight. Really, really good. It's patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So, Dave, the famous roll call of honor. So we've got Chloe, Neve, Jacqueline, Noreen, Claire, Amy, Zoe, Joanna, Helen, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Hannah, Ed, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Haley, Tracy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafsson. So thank you very, very much, guys. We both really appreciate it. We always say it, and we're not just saying it every episode, we are so humble that people support us because, we're just two friends talking about reality TV and we love it.
And it's good to hopefully Hannah gets well soon as well, because she's had a second jab and was had to duck out of the watch party. So I think it depends what jab you get, doesn't it? Some people react to the first one, some to the second one, but hopefully she'll be back to full fitness tomorrow.
Oh, it's nice because I didn't get any abuse in the Discord tonight. So
come back, always.
Yeah, Lauren's not been as active because she's been very busy, hasn't she? Which has been nice. Well, not nice, but nice for me. Yeah.
Come back and give Chris more abuse. No, honestly.
I'm joking.
Do we think we'll get anyone new from here, or are we done with new blood into the villa now?
No, I think there'll be one last play. There'll be one last play, Dave. Maybe Sunday night. There'll be something. Definitely. I do. Maybe just one girl, one boy.
I kind of want to see someone go after Toby again.
I know, because it's going to happen. Dave, I want Jake to be tested. I really want Jake.
Yeah. No, he's going to get screwed over, isn't he, by the Twitter game if the comes. Equivalent. And actually, someone had posted, hadn't they? Because they used to do the lie detector test, but I think after that controversy, they're not allowed to do that anymore. So we're definitely not going to see the lie detector test. But I am hopeful we see something of a Twitter. If it's not the Twitter game, something where the comments that Jake's made come back to haunt him.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I'm with you. Oh, I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. Right. So I will see you tomorrow.
Bye now.